Audio check here, 1 2 1 2. Audio check here. Perfect. All right, we are live. Kind of unexpected, but not really unexpected this morning. We have a snow squall warning in effect. Our policy here does state that we go live for snow squall warnings. Give me just 1 second to get situated here. Perfect. Excellent. All right, cool. Pop open my other radar, which is right here, and we are going to be good to go in just a brief second here. All right. Welcome to the stream, guys. Current time on your screen, bottom right there, is 9:22 a.m. It is January 14th. It is a Wednesday here. We have a lot going on today with our snow event. We have a snow squall warning that is in effect now for portions of northwest Indiana. Lake, Porter, Newton, and Jasper counties are in the snow squall warning. What a snow squall warning is essentially is a lot of heavy snow and a lot of wind that hits you all at once. So if you're on the roads out in this area, on your screen currently, the snow squall that we're tracking is over Gary, Portage, Chesterton, Maryville, Crown Point, and Valparaiso area, moving south and a little bit to the east as well, but southeast movement here is toward Wheatfield, Shelby, and Schneider areas, as well as North Judson and Knox. So if you're out on the roads across the very far northwest corner of Indiana here, you guys should be alert if you're on the roads. Be prepared for low visibility, perhaps zero visibility, as well as potential for those pileups out there because these conditions are changing very, very rapidly on these roads here. The text of the latest snow squall warning says that it is in effect until 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central Time, so about 45 or about 40 minutes or so. It says a dangerous snow squall was located along a line extending from Plainfield to near Maryville to Westville, moving south at 30 miles per hour. The hazard here, they're saying, is a flash freeze on roads. What that means, temperatures are dropping very rapidly. Wet roads are going to freeze and turn to solid ice. In addition to that, intense bursts of heavy snow, along with gusty winds, leading to blowing snow and visibility rapidly falling to less than 1/4 mile. Wind gusts could top 50 miles per hour and could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. This is radar indicated. The impact is dangerous and life-threatening travel conditions. Mile markers, 235 and 259 on I-55. On 57, it is 316 and 343. On I-80, it is 123 and 150. I-355 is mile markers 1 and 4. Indiana I-65 between 227 and 255 are impacted by this. So let's go ahead and talk very briefly here, the areas that are out in front of this snow squall. Go ahead and time this out here. There we go. A little bit of movement there on your radar for you. As you can see, mostly moving to the south here, but also just a slight east movement here. So Morocco, Rensselaer, North Judson, and Knox areas should be alert next for this snow squall. Yes, Derek, thank you. I do see lightning strikes. In fact, if you zoom in here to Crown Point, right here, I'm circling my mouse over it. That is a lightning strike showing up on radar. Another one here as well just showed up. So if you're also in this area, thunder snow is occurring. Yes, that is a thing. Surprisingly, it is a thing. The crazy thing is I was actually unaware of this snow squall warning because I was actually writing the forecast for today. It just got posted to the page, and I was like, I look up to my desk and I see snow squall warning. I'm like, already? It's only 9 o'clock here. So we are starting early. This was only the start of our event. Lake effect snow behind the snow squall will ramp up. Think of this snow squall as a introduction to our gusty winds as well as our lake effect event today for Northwest Indiana. So along and behind this squall here, our gusty winds, 30 to 40 mile per hour for a lot of us here in Indiana. That goes all the way down to Indianapolis and all the way south of Indianapolis too. Gusty winds are likely today as the squall passes. But behind it, those winds are going to crank as well, especially up here across northern and northwest Indiana. That's going to help our lake effect event later on today. So by about noon to about the mid-afternoon time frame, lake effect snow will be in full force here. We could see as much as 2 feet of snow up here in like the South Bend, LaPorte, Michigan City areas. We are seeing a very potent event later on tonight into Thursday morning that could dump as much as 2 feet of snow. But for a lot of you guys up there, a general about 2 to probably 8 inches or so is expected. But in the heaviest banding, definitely could see over a foot. David says, let it snow, baby. I agree. Evan, a Michigan chaser in chat here, says, wasn't expecting it to start this soon. Too bad I'm at work. Yeah, this was, the squall was expected to happen, but I don't know if we expect it to be this intense. While I have a brief second here, I'm going to pull up the Indiana 511 map, as they call it, or the TrafficWise map. I want to see if we can't get any images or any views going on up here across the impacted areas. Also keeping a close eye on the roadways. There actually is an accident being reported already. Looks like there is a I-51, or nope, yeah, I-51. Is that right? No, that ain't right. Sorry, 94 just to the west of... What on earth is this? There it is, loaded. So just to the east of I-65 on I-94, there is an accident there that is blocking the eastbound lane, looks like. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to flip my screen over here to a different screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing. You can just kind of take a peek for yourself what these snow squalls are doing out there for us. I'm going to pop open this. This is the TrafficWise map here. Visibility is reduced there. They said a quarter mile in the text of that snow squall warning. Not a surprise at all. It looks like it's about a quarter mile in some spots. Also, traffic is backed up in this area, it appears, in some spots as well. Look at that. Yeah, look at the traffic there. It is bumper to bumper. I'm not sure if they're stopped or if they're just slow going there. But yeah, definitely impactful here to the travel areas. Let's go further south here. Complete whiteout here. And it's also accumulating on the roadways very quickly. So if you're out and about in this general area of northwest Indiana, again, the counties included on this are Lake, Porter, Newton, and Jasper counties. The snow squall warning's in effect here until about 10 a.m. It's about a half hour longer. It is also 9 a.m. Central Time. You guys over there are on Central Time. So 9 a.m. Central for you guys who are watching from this impacted area. And again, hazard is mainly to travel, but also flash freezing on roadways will turn everything to solid ice, so be mindful of that. I will go over our snowfall forecast here in just a few minutes here. I need to finish actually typing out the forecast still, but I do have the graphic ready for you guys. In fact, I can pull it up here in just a second, but I do want to keep an eye out as well for comments here as well. We just got a warning from our phone 10 minutes ago. Morocco, travelers, please drive safely. Yeah, snow squall warnings, I believe they do trigger the EAS alert on your phone. So it'll give you that beep, beep, the annoying beep that you usually get with tornado warnings. It'll happen with snow squall warnings as well. And the main concern is travel. If you guys are at home, there's really no impacts to you guys besides gusty winds and quick snow accumulation. This is mainly to alert travelers and traffic and people who are out and about on the roads. Let me get the forecast graphic here pulled up for you guys. I know you guys are anxious about the snow up there in northern Indiana. If you're living in like the central and south part of Indiana, there's not much in the way of accumulation for you guys expected. But I will go over this for you guys just a brief minute here. Pull it up. There we go. I just posted this actually on the page a little bit ago. So it is also on the page ready for you guys to look at. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and flip the screen over here. Here is our latest snowfall forecast here for the northern Indiana zone. So areas from Gary to Valparaiso down toward Winnemac, Monticello, Logansport, Peru, Wabash, over in toward the LaGrange area, Columbia City, Huntington, 2 to 5 inches with lake effect snow. Further north, if you're in the LaPorte to Valparaiso, Knox, Rochester, Warsaw, Goshen area, we're going 4 to 9 there. And then if you are living in that pink zone is going to be the zone of not really uncertainty, but that zone has potential to see accumulations that could top a foot or two of snow in some spots. Looking at the latest model guidance, I would not be shocked to see some areas up there from Plymouth to South Bend, up into Berrien County of Michigan, that they could top easily 18 or more inches of snow by the time we get to Thursday morning. So quite a significant lake effect snow event will ramp up here as we move through the day. This is just the beginning of it. Snow squall warnings are in effect for over in northwest Indiana there for the 4 counties of Lake, Porter, Newton, and Jasper. If you want to go further south here, I'll pull that up in just a brief second as well. I got to post it yet, but for areas further south here toward Indianapolis, 1 to 2 is the forecast, all the way down to just below I-70. And if you're south I-70, it turns into a trace to an inch. So as the snow squall pushes south, it should lose some intensity as it does so. And that also will lead to less and less accumulations the further south this thing travels. So pulling up the radar here again, this is going to travel southward, and it should hold together across pretty much the entirety of the state as it does so. There's a wide angle look there. So we do have snow all the way over to Goshen and almost to Angola right now, but the heaviest of this snow is over in the western part of the state currently, hence why we have snow squall warnings in effect. Yeah, we jumped when it came on. Yeah, that alert is going to scare you, Renee. It really will scare you. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and get this. I screwed up, didn't I? I did. So I had the snowfall forecast that was typed up ready to go, and I changed my accounts and I lost it. So that's lovely. I got to retype it all. Wind gust report off of, it appears to be Michigan City area. I have a gust report of 48 miles per hour, 2 miles west-northwest Michigan City. 48 miles per hour west-northwest of Michigan City. They just updated the snow squall warning here. Let's go ahead and see what they did. Train Spotter is now reporting this. So they basically moved it from radar indicated, saying that, hey, radar supports this, to now saying this is confirmed via people on the ground who are trained. So we are basically seeing the verification of the visibility reductions with this snow squall warning. Again, we are live. Our policy does state that we go live for snow squall warnings here in the state of Indiana. So if you're new here, we do live tracking of severe weather during summer and winter as well when there's tornadoes in December, as crazy as it is. But we are live as well in the wintertime for these events as well. For those of you up there in northwest Indiana watching, how much snow do you have on the ground now with the snow squall? I know it's been about an hour or so for some of you guys, but this is leading to an inch or two of quick accumulation, I had to imagine. I'm just kind of curious what it's doing out there. Weather has been crazy. Yes, Nikki, it has been. It's not too often that we get severe weather. It's not impossible, but we don't often get severe weather in December and in winter months, really. But we've had a couple new things this year. The snow squall warnings for northern Indiana are new this year. The first one ever issued was over in the Angola region, LaGrange area, about 3 weeks ago. And now we have another one on the opposite side of the state here. But still, these snow squall warnings are something that are somewhat newer in Weather Service warnings and stuff like that. They just never happened in Indiana before. So these may be new terms for you guys. Will it reach Kokomo? It is a good probability you will get snow in Kokomo. I don't know how well the snow squall is going to hold together. But yes, it will hold. You will get snow. I just don't know if it'll be as intense as what it is right now up there in Lake, Porter, Newton, and Jasper counties. I've mentioned Wabash like twice already, Barry. Marion is dry right now. Yes, for now. Again, this snow squall will move south, and I'll go ahead and blanket you guys here. If you're in Fort Wayne, Decatur, Bluffton, Marion, Kokomo, Lafayette, anywhere between those areas or anywhere north, and you're not seeing snow right now, give it some time. It's heading your way. The more intense part is up here in northwest Indiana, from about LaPorte over here toward Valparaiso, Crown Point, moving south. So on deck, Morocco, Rensselaer, Winnemac, Plymouth, Napanee, Bourbon, Warsaw, and Rochester, and eventually continuing toward Kentland, Remington, Monticello, Logansport, Wabash, Huntington, and Fort Wayne areas. I'll animate the radar for you guys one more time. You can see that movement is pretty much due south with just a slight eastward movement with this. I'll get a post up here real quick for you guys. If you have questions, drop them in chat. I'll look at it here just a brief second. I do want to get a post out on the page for those of you who are not tuned in. All right, there we go. We have about, between two accounts, about 500,000 followers, and I only have about 500 of you guys in here watching right now. So there's a lot of people who do not know what's going on. So I want to get posts out in text form as well for people who can't tune in or at work, but they can scroll Facebook, they can get updates that way. So there we go. Get that out. All right, let's go ahead and check chat here. It is nasty in Coons Lake right now. Thank you for that, Bobby. It's okay, Barry. It's okay. I can't get to everybody's questions about locations. I can't talk this morning. Location-specific questions are kind of hard to answer when there's a lot of people asking for their location. I can give general sense. Amber, I would have to imagine if any schools are up in the northern half of the state for like LaPorte, Knox, Crown Point, the very far northwest corner. If there's schools today, I would highly recommend that they release early at this point. Just because lake effect is going to ramp up, conditions are going to deteriorate through the day. Further south, though, you guys got time. No snow in Gas City yet. We do not have Discord just yet. It is actually made, but we're not going to launch it until spring this year, so stay tuned for that. We will have a Discord. And of course, Facebook did not post that for some reason. I got to click a button, don't I? Yeah, there it goes. Perfect. Quit fake typing, and that says, hey, check the page. I just posted. Will Newcastle see any snow today? It is likely a lot of us here in the state will see snow today. The only thing is, we're not going to see a lot of snow for areas really south of Indianapolis. We're talking 1 to 2 inches as far south of Indianapolis, and then south from that, we're talking like a trace to an inch. Now, if you're up there by Michigan City, LaPorte, Knox, South Bend area, you could be looking at close to a foot or two of snow. It just depends on where you're at in the state today. Charla says it is, or Charla, sorry, I'm not sure if it's Charla or Charla, says it's hitting Lakeville now. I can see that. If you guys have videos or pictures or you want to send anything into us, feel free to message the page. We'll take a peek at your guys' reports and stuff, so feel free. Our inbox is always open during these events for you guys to send stuff in. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you tuning in. Yes, Jason, thank you. We are on YouTube as well, and you can turn on notifications. So whenever we go live, you can get notified that we are live. So YouTube, in my opinion, is a much better platform to watch us on. That's what I prefer, actually, people to watch us on, just because Facebook, you're restricted. You have to stay in Facebook to watch us or watch anything, really. The minute you want to go answer a text or whatever, you have to close the stream. On YouTube, you can put in the top corner, you can exit, you can still listen to us, you can still watch us and do other stuff on your phone or your computer. So I always recommend people to go to YouTube. It's just my preferred platform, but it's okay. We're on YouTube. We're also on X as well, if you want to watch us on X. So, sitting in Elkhart waiting for a load to go south. Come on, dispatch. I see a lot of questions about the impacts and timing of the snow squall. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to share my entire screen. So I have to stop. I have to just do it this way so it's easier. There we go. There's my entire screen. That way I can just go whoopsie daisy. Let's go ahead and check out the forecast future model here. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's zoom in to Indiana. Flip it over here to animated radar on the 12Z model. There we go. So current time is 9:42 a.m. Eastern. It's about 10 o'clock Eastern time. The model here is showing the snow squall right about where it should be for about Angola down here toward about the Knox area. Okay, let's time this out for you guys further south. This is, again, a forecast model. It should be taken as exact, truth, but it's a good idea of what could happen. So let's go to 11 and noon. There's 11. Here's noon today. Again, Eastern time here. Here's 1 p.m. So by about that noon time frame, we're looking at places like Terre Haute over toward just about Indianapolis, over toward about Muncie, about that noon to 1 p.m. Eastern time frame. And then further south here toward that 1 to 2 p.m. time frame, Bloomington over toward about Richmond. And then as we move this toward 3 p.m., it starts to kind of break apart there. So areas toward Evansville, Corydon, over toward Louisville, Kentucky. You guys may not get too much in the way of impacts from the snow squall, but it does continue to push across the entire state, really. So it will hold together, more potent north of Indianapolis, and then it should start to weaken as it crosses the I-70 corridor and heads toward the Kentucky border. But here's 3 p.m., 4 p.m., then behind it, notice lake effect snow up there is going to ramp up very rapidly here. So if you're up there in northwest Indiana toward Lake Michigan, you have a lot of snow left to come. Otherwise, snow showers are possible here through pretty much the entire state, really, at times through the afternoon. Those should not accumulate too heavily. But again, we put a 1 to 2 forecast down to about I-70 to account for that. Now, if you're up there close to Lake Michigan, lake effect snow will continue all day today. We're at 1 a.m. tonight now. It's still going on. Sunrise tomorrow, it's still going on. But noon tomorrow into the afternoon on Thursday, it should start to wrap up there. And then we have another system coming in later on Thursday that could lead to light accumulations as well for northern Indiana. We'll talk about that more later on today. But when all is said and done, accumulation-wise, we'll turn this on real quick. The model accumulation. We have about a trace to an inch all the way down to about Bloomington here. And then if you're north I-70, we did go 1 to 2 here. There are some areas and pockets that say a half inch of snow or, close to like 0.8, like just under an inch. A general 1 to 2 will cover it. If you guys get 0.8 inches, it's a 0.2 difference, not a big deal. But do take note up there. If you're in the northwest corner of the state here, the latest model here buries some of you guys with 18 inches or so snow. And then I don't want to say it, but the model also here does have a narrow corridor of 2 or more foot of snow. That likely is overdone, but still potential is there with this event for you guys up there to get a lot of snow. Our forecast is 7 to 14 plus for that area. We'll see what happens. We do have chasers going out as well, so we'll keep a close eye on that. All right, snow squall warning continues here for Lake, Porter, Newton, and Jasper counties until 10 a.m. Snow squall warnings basically are issued whenever there is hazardous or even life-threatening travel that is ongoing across the state. So, with that said, our policy here at IWN IWO is that we go live whenever there is potential for life-threatening situations or conditions. We are not on TikTok, Annette. We might be on TikTok again in springtime. So we have a full-time operational employee coming on here at the end of this month. So we'll be fully staffed finally after a little bit of a period of time of a break here. We'll be fully staffed here starting in February. That is when we're going to ramp up our operations here in terms of other platforms and more overall general forecast for you guys going out there. So expect more live coverage, forecasts, YouTube videos, et cetera, get pumped out here starting in February. We're excited for it. It's getting hot in my office, so I'm going to flip this fan on and we're going to roll here. All right, get that out on the page. Perfect. All right, cool. Same page as on YouTube. Yes, we are Indiana Weather Network on YouTube. You can also find some of our weather cameras that are live over on YouTube as well. Speaking of weather cameras, we do have a couple that may be impacted by the snow squall here in just a minute. I will go ahead and show you guys this. I'm going to flip this over to this, and I can shut this off. Bam, there we go. We have 9 weather cameras currently that are live in the state of Indiana. We have Bluffton, we have Bourbon, Clinton, Gary, Fort Wayne, Elnora, Mishawaka, Rensselaer, and Vermilion. The Rensselaer cam is the one I'm interested in here. Courtesy of Jasper County REMC. This snow squall is going to impact this camera here in about probably 15 to 20 minutes maybe. Be on the right side of your screen. This is facing west here, and the snow squall is coming from the north. So it's going to come from the northwest, the right side of your screen, moving to the south here. So we'll see. We are about probably 15 minutes away from seeing what this thing is actually doing. So we'll have visual confirmation of it here shortly. So we'll keep a close eye on those cameras here over the next couple of minutes. Let me get my radio turned on here just in case. Mandy, technically, this is the first initial band of snow that we're seeing here. And then behind it basically is a lot of those winds, and that wind's going to crank up lake effect snow. So you could definitely say there's 2 bands possible for North Indiana. This is just the first kickoff of the event, so to speak. There we go. Bloomington will get a potential for snow showers later on this afternoon. Accumulation will be minor in nature. I'm saying like a trace to an inch at most. Winds are picking up in LaPorte. I agree. I do see a report. Actually, we have more reports coming in, actually. So we talked about the one up by Michigan City that gusted to 48 miles per hour. We have more. We have a 44 mile per hour gust that was reported. Let me see if I can get this to, there we go. Nope, that's the warning. Hold on. There we go. 44 mile per hour gust reported 3 miles northwest of Maryville. That was sourced by the public. It was a personal weather station. Also, over here further to the east, we have another report of 48 miles per hour in Porter County, 3 miles north of Lakes of the Four. Personal weather station gusted to 48. I don't know if that got cut off or not. I'm going to see if I can zoom in here. Lakes of the Four Seasons, that's what it is. Okay, that's what it is. So it appears that 3 miles north of the Lakes of the Four Seasons ended up getting a 48 mile per hour gust. Now remember, guys, 58 mile per hour winds or greater are what are considered severe. The problem with the winter time, though, is when you combine even 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with the snow, if you are out on the roads, that's going to lead to near zero visibilities here. And that's the main concern with this snow squall. So, again, snow squall moving through Lake, Porter, Jasper, and Newton counties here. I'm going to throw up the... That sounded weird to end on. I'm going to throw up the weather camera here in the bottom left of the screen if I can. I don't know if I will be able to do it or not. Nope, I guess I can't. But I do have it pulled up here. I want to keep the Rensselaer cam ready just in case something were to happen on this camera. Right now it's still calm, but we're going to check it back and forth here as we move through this morning's coverage here. So this camera is also live over on Indiana Weather Network on YouTube. You can watch it yourself anytime you'd like. How much will Fort Wayne get? Darlene, we are anticipating 1 to 3 inches or so of snow for Fort Wayne. And that is through right now through about Thursday afternoon. Angola will get some snow, yes. Accumulations will be minor in nature. Again, 1 to 3 for you guys over there in Angola. Let's take a peek back at the traffic-wise cameras. I do want to keep a close eye on that area. Another accident coming in, actually. Let's go ahead and check this one out real quick. There we go. This is going to be on the... There is a car in the median, looks like. And that's located south of Ridge Road, 37th Avenue on I-65. It appears to... I-65 northbound between 49th and 39th is where that's at. Let's go further south here. Let's go toward the Crown Point area. Let's cycle through the cameras down here. Still dry, it looks like, for the most part. Let's go further north here. Let's go up here. Ooh, iced over there. Just trying to find something good to look at, you know? Some kind of good views. Snow-covered roadways, not surprised by that. Slick roadways, very quickly. The snow is sticking very quickly, so be mindful of that. Temperature is also dropping very rapidly, so anything that's wet on those roads are going to freeze instantly as these temperatures are falling rapidly. What is the ETA for Wabash? Well, I can go over that one more time for you guys who are just tuning in. Here is the future radar based on the latest model. Let's go to 10 a.m. Right about right now, we're at 9:53 a.m. Eastern, so about 10 a.m. Eastern. So we'll go to Wabash. We're talking right around the probably about 11 to noon time frame for you guys down there in Wabash. There's 11 a.m. Again, all times I'm talking about are in Eastern. Here's noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So again, up here, current time, about 10 a.m. That snow squall is about right where it's at, from Angola down to about Knox. Pushing south-southeast here about 30 miles per hour. By about noon, it'll be closing in on I-70. By about the 1 p.m. time frame, it's over I-70. 2 p.m. it's crossing I-70. And then 3 p.m. it's down there by the Kentucky border. New snow squall warning incoming now for the southern part of Newton and Jasper, as well as Benton County. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that real quick. New snow squall warning in effect for 1 hour. Let's go ahead and talk about it. It is for the Illinois as well as Indiana region. Let's talk about it quickly. It says dangerous snow squall located along a line extending from near Fairbury to Kankakee, 7 miles south of Roselawn to near Madeiraville. I'm going to butcher that probably. Hazard. Flash freeze on the roads. Intense bursts of heavy snow. Gusty winds leading to blowing snow and visibility falling to less than 1/4 of a mile. Wind gusts greater than 50 miles per hour could knock unsecured objects over. Train spotter and radar was confirmed on that. Let's go ahead and stop the radar. There we go. All these red boxes on your screen, not really, kind of like pink. I'm talking like these over here by Rensselaer, Remington, Kentland. These are snow squall warnings. The blue boxes over here are statements. And that statement is for basically a burst of snow shower saying, hey, travel could be slick. But then behind all this blue snow are purple and pink counties as well. These are your winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in the state here. So there's a lot of different alerts out there this morning. Walkerton is getting high winds now. So yeah, this snow squall across the entire state will usher in those gusty winds. In fact, I can show you guys what those winds are going to do today. The beauty of weather models at the ready. So as I move this in, so here's 10 a.m. this morning. You're going to see the snow squall is about right here, right? Behind that snow squall, we're seeing the increase of winds. So below it, we're talking 20 mile per hour gusts or so. Not a big deal. We're used to that. But then up here in these green is 40 mile per hour gusts, 40 to 45. And that's going to creep south as the day goes on here. So let's go to noon. As that squall pushes south, all that 40 to 45 or so is going to push across the entire state. So winds are going to be quite gusty, especially in the afternoon hours. But then also attention turns up here to northwest Indiana. Lake effect snow combining with that wind also looks like the winds pick up later on tonight. 50 mile per hour winds being shown at this point. Combine that with lake effect snow. We're talking near blizzard conditions for some areas up there. Again, those winds are going to be out of the north, northwest, so they'll be coming out of the north, blowing to the south. Check back in up here with the weather camera. I'm going to go ahead and take this actually because I think a visual representation is a little bit better of what's going on here. So you can start to see the right side of your screen there is becoming dark. And usually, we associate dark clouds with storms, but not in this case. We're talking snow. I am going to refill my water here while we watch this. If you guys can't tell, I'm a little stuffed up. I've been getting over a sickness here, so I can stay hydrated and try and keep my voice preserved. Again, this camera is facing west out of Rensselaer. It is located at Jasper County REMC. Take back the radar here and show you guys how close this is to Rensselaer at the current time. So you're going to see we have Rensselaer right in the center of your screen. Got some snow showers that are starting to pick up there on camera, but the heaviest is still off to the north yet. So about 5 or so more minutes will be in the worst of it, I believe. We'll keep it right here. No problem, Barry. The camera is starting to shake just ever so slightly, indicating those winds are picking up as well. Colin says, just got hammered in Joliet, Illinois. This is a pretty wide snow squall. Yep, here it comes. You can see those, it looks like rain, honestly. If you look at that during summertime, it's like, oh yeah, it looks like rain. But now it's falling with snow. We are about to see just how intense the snow squall is. This camera is facing west, so hopefully the snow isn't heavy enough that's going to blind the camera. Oh yeah, check it out. Look at the wall moving in from the right side of the screen. That is a wall of snow. That is a literal wall of snow. That's crazy. Excuse me. Now just imagine you're out on the roads driving in this. That's what you're faced with. It goes from clear to literally blinding conditions. Look at that. That is insane. And there it is. And that is really gusty too. That is insanity. Wow. Again, thank you and shout out to Jasper County REMC for sponsoring this weather camera. They gave us a very first-hand look here. This is like the first time we're actually using this to track real live conditions, and this is actually very intense. So the snow squall warning definitely a good choice here by the Weather Service to issue it. That visibility is less than a quarter mile. That's spot on. That is insane. We went from literally clear skies as far as the eye can see to literally like that, and we're in near zero visibility. And also got to remember as well, the cameras, when you have a camera on your phone or these cameras themselves, typically, if you hold up the camera in a very heavy snow squall, you're going to see better through your camera. The human eye is not as good as a camera. So you have to also account that the human eye is not going to see as well as this camera is seeing. So with snow squall here, not only is the snow a hazard, but also the wind and also the flash freeze that's happening because temperatures are dropping rapidly. So we're going from the 40s all the way down to the 20s. That's going to freeze wet roads here as the snow falls. So it's not a good situation. It's going to cause very slick conditions out there across northern Indiana especially. But again, this is in Rensselaer, facing to the west here, courtesy of Jasper County REMC. Very intense snow squall ongoing across this area. Would not be shocked to see extensions of this snow squall warning further to the east toward the Rochester-Logansport area. I'll say the winds, I can't really get a good feel for the winds on camera at least. I would say probably 30 to 40 mile per hour winds pretty easily. There's really nothing in view here besides the trees on the left side of the screen that look like they're blowing a little bit. Otherwise, I can't really tell visually how strong those winds are. So, again, this is in Rensselaer. Appreciate Jasper County REMC for putting that camera up for us. We do have another camera up there at Gary, Indiana, at Well Street Beach that is getting blasted right now by this snow. What we're going to do, actually, we're going to swing this around here. I'm going to hope to clear that lens a little bit of some snow so we're not looking at a snow blob lens, I guess, so to speak. So I'm going to tilt this way and hope that I can clear some of that off before temperatures drop below freezing. It's stuck on there for a while. Leave it like that. All right, back to radar. If you're just tuning in with us, we are live tracking a snow squall that is moving through the northern half of Indiana. It's occurring. What is occurring, should I say, is heavy snowfall rates, near zero visibility, wind gusts upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour, and then temperatures falling rapidly that's leading to roadways freezing very rapidly. So, combination of everything, all it means if you're out on the roads, it's probably best to get off the roads at this point. If you're at home watching, great, that's where I want you to be. I know a lot of people they have to be at work, at school, etc., so I know everybody's not able to actually follow directions and able to adhere to the warnings, but we're live. Hopefully, if you guys know people on the roads, let them know what's going on here. Current snow squall is located from LaGrange, Indiana, to about Napanee, to about Winnemac, over toward about Morocco, Rensselaer area. Moving south. On deck for the snow squall, Kentland, Remington, Monticello, Logansport, Peru, Rochester, Wabash, Huntington, Warsaw, Albion, Columbia City. You guys are next. The worst of it is located further to the west here. So if you're up there by Angola, LaGrange, you're going to get snow still, but it's not as intense as it is further west. So the most intense currently from Napanee, Bourbon, Walnut, Winnemac, Rensselaer, Morocco, heading toward Kentland, Remington, Fowler, Monticello, Logansport, Peru, Wabash, and North Manchester. that is what is on deck for you guys. Any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. We'll be live for a little while longer here. If you have any questions, I am here to answer you guys. So feel free to ask if you have anything you'd like to know. Taking a peek back here at the camera in Rensselaer. Quick dusting of snow there. And that has continued. Not as intense as it was about 5 minutes ago, but still quite a decent amount of snow falling. It'll fall for a while. So when all is said and done here in Rensselaer, wouldn't be shocked to have an inch or two on the ground here as we move towards 10 o'clock or so. I'm going to go ahead and check back here with the traffic-wise map. Jason, so what's happening here is behind the snow squall, temperatures are falling rapidly. So accumulation down by you guys will be minimal, inch or two or so at most. But yes, it will stick behind this initial push of snow, because behind that initial push is wind as well as a lot more colder air. So it will drop your temperatures pretty quickly. Huntington area is on deck here. It won't be as bad for you guys over further south, or should I say further east. I would expect it in the next hour or two for you guys in Huntington. And I wouldn't expect it to be as intense as it is further west, but still expect there to be quick accumulation on roadways, wind gusts picking up, as well as road conditions deteriorating. St. John and Lake County has a lot of wind and the snow continues falling. Do you know how much is expected for our area? Sandy, good question. You're up there in northwest Indiana. And that area, this is just the first initial push of snow, so to speak. Behind it, we have a lot more snow expected. I will go ahead and flip over here to our forecast on the page. So, FYI, we are expecting a widespread blanket with a snow squall of 1 to 2 inches or so. Behind that, lake effect kicks up. So if you're over there in Lake or Porter counties, it's going to depend where you're at in the county. Further east you go, it could be 2 to 5 or so. So keep that in mind. But if you're further west, it could be about 1 to 2, could be about 3 or so. Play it by ear. Lake County in particular, kind of split there. I would say, I think a good general rule, 1 to 4, just to account for everything. Renee says whiteout in Newton. I also do have the statewide map here. It looks like another snow squall warning coming in. Yeah, there we go. Another snow squall warning coming in. We'll get to that in just a second. For those of you who live further south and want the overall large-scale look at things, I do have a statewide map of that exact forecast. It is right here. So if you live south of I-70, your chances of accumulation are a little bit lower. We could see a trace further south toward Jasper or Cordon areas based on latest guidance, but overall this is still on track, I'd say. 1 to 2 inches for a general accumulation with that initial snow squall. Lake effect snow continues up further north. Then further south, as the snow squall deteriorates through the afternoon, we could see a trace to an inch as far south as about Jasper or Louisville, Kentucky. Again, you can find this forecast over at Indiana Weather Online. You can find a zoomed in look over on our page at Indiana Weather Network. All right, with that said, we do have another snow squall warning in effect here. I'm going to get that posted on the page. This is quite the morning, guys. I did not expect it to go or be this intense this early. All right, that is posted. Perfect. I live in Greenfield, Indiana. Bad weather here too. Greenfield, you guys should be just some snow, some wind. Won't be as bad as it is further north. So you should be better off down there in Greenfield, but still expect there to be some snow later on this afternoon. And with that snow will come a little bit of wind, and then any roads that are wet will freeze. All right, new snow squall warning in effect here for a large area. Let's go ahead and talk it out here, guys. We're talking a lot of counties. Wabash, White, Fulton, Pulaski, Kosciuszko, Cass, Miami, Stark, and Marshall counties. That's a lot of counties. Again, one more time. Wabash, White, Fulton, Pulaski, Kosciuszko, Cass, Miami, Stark, and Marshall counties until 11:15 a.m. Says a dangerous snow squall was located along a line extending from Bourbon to east of Winnemac to Brook, moving southeast at 35 miles per hour. The hazard is intense bursts of heavy snow, gusty winds leading to blowing snow, and rapidly falling visibility with gusts greater than 35 miles per hour possible. Source radar and webcams. Are they watching us? Travel will become difficult and potentially dangerous within minutes. This includes Interstate 65, mile markers 185, 198. Slowdown, rapid changes in visibility, and road conditions are expected within the snow squall. Be alert for sudden whiteout conditions and every bit of that. We just looked at it on the Rensselaer cam, and that confirms what we had going on. We saw a wall of snow move in, and we went from clear skies all around to bam, nothing in a matter of about 10 seconds. So that goes to show you that these snow squalls can deteriorate conditions rapidly. Any questions, feel free to drop them in chat. We are live here for a little bit longer. If you guys have questions, the chat is open for those to be answered and asked. So I am Ryan. I am with Indiana Weather Network, as well as Indiana Weather Online. We are live here. Been live for about an hour now. We are live because of a snow squall warning that's impacting a good chunk of north and central Indiana now. On your screen currently is the Rensselaer cam, courtesy of Jasper County REMC. Let's go ahead and take this off screen and yeah, I guess that's the only really only view we have right now. If this snow squall continues, we'll have a look at this on the Vermilion cameras a little bit later on this afternoon. We've got about an hour or two before that it gets impacted, though. So keep a close eye on things. Taking a peek back at traffic-wise. We're seeing a couple accident reports out there, but not too many. Looks like those interstates are snow-covered. Also, they may look clear, but taking consideration, temperatures are dropping rapidly from 40s down to the 20s, so anything wet will freeze. So it could look wet, but it actually could be a sheet of ice. So it could be a lot of things this morning. And conditions definitely do not look good. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. Can I post the info for YouTube? I sure can. Give me a second. I'll drop the link in chat for you guys. I can do that. We are live on YouTube as well as Facebook. So feel free to hop over whatever platform you prefer to watch us on. Claudia, I'm going to drop the link for our YouTube in chat here. I just did that. It should be on both X, Facebook, and YouTube chat. Also, over on our YouTube, you can find a couple of our weather cameras that are live streaming right now. Rensselaer, Gary, and Fort Wayne cameras are currently live. We are working on upgrades for our Vermilion cameras, and we also have Bourbon coming online here shortly as well. Excuse me. No problem, Claudia. All right. So what can you guys expect further south out ahead of this? So first and foremost, I want to say the western half of this line of snow, we're actually going to draw some circles on here for visual purposes. About South Bend over here toward about Winnemac, this is where the heaviest of the snow is currently falling. This is moving to the south-southeast here at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. If you're up here from Goshen to Angola, there's still snow. However, it's not as heavy as it is further to the west. So, with that said, we talk about areas out ahead of this. Lafayette, Kokomo, Tipton, Marion, Logansport, Peru, Huntington, anywhere between. You're on deck here next about 30 minutes to about an hour or so. And that's going to be incoming. You have snow. With that snow, a burst of wind, rapidly falling temperatures, and any roads that are wet will freeze, as well as the snow sticking to the roads. Not going to be a good idea to be on the roads as the snow squall passes through. I will remove my third grade drawing on the screen. And then I will also go further south here. Later on, after noon, talking like 1, 2, 3 p.m., this snow squall will likely continue, but it will weaken as it moves further south here. So areas from Terre Haute to about Richmond and point southward, you guys are still going to have some snow. Won't be as heavy, though. It'll be a burst of moderate snow or so. That scared me. Holy cow. A burst of moderate snow with some wind, as well as falling temperatures, and any roads that are wet will become snow covered, as well as freeze over very quickly, as well as temperatures drop. So the worst of it, I'd say right now, is happening further north here with the current situation. it should gradually weaken a little bit as it moves south, but still give enough concern for some snow and also slick conditions as it pushes toward I-70 and even a little bit south I-70 as well, especially on the eastern half of the state, as the snow squall will move to the east a little bit as it moves to the south. So areas from like Evansville down to Vincennes, you guys may not get in on much down there just because that snow squall is going to miss you over here further to the east. So you guys down here should be A-okay. All right. Just saw the first flake in Pierceton. I will say as well, with the latest radar scans here, I do have several radars pulled up. I do have the one I'm using right now to broadcast to you guys. I also have this monstrosity, but this monstrosity also gives me a good look into things. This is your precip rate, basically. And look at the dark greens. Dark greens are actually over in Illinois currently in Kankakee County. The overall depiction excuse me, of snow here across northern Indiana is starting to weaken just a bit. Still moderate to heavy snow, but the heaviest definitely over here in Kankakee, where the heavier, darker greens and even some yellows shown up there on radar. So it looks like the overall intensity is starting to come down just a smidge here for portions of the state. I do also want to mention over here in Kosciuszko County as well as Marshall counties, we do have a little bit heavier rates picking up as well near Bourbon as well as Argos. Whoops. What on earth? Why on earth did that happen? All right, well, there's that. We do have a camera pulled up here in Bourbon, so to speak. I'm going to throw that on the screen for you guys while I fix my radar. This is also facing west here. I'm going to remove the warning bar off the screen for you guys to see. There we go. All right, let's fix this. I am fixed. Perfect. That ding you just heard is a new statement coming in for Lafayette, Kramer, Delphi battleground areas. They're opting to forego the snow squall warning, at least for right now, in replacement of a statement that says an area of heavy snow will affect western Carroll and northeastern Fountain counties, as well as Warren and Tippecanoe counties. Winds in excess of 40 miles per hour are possible, as well as rapidly changing conditions. We will see. They're still a little bit a ways away from the impact of that snow squall, so they could still issue a warning when it gets closer. But right now they're opting to go with a statement. Lightning now in Remington, Indiana. Thank you, Maxwell, for that. It is starting to snow in Rochester. Thank you for that as well. Camera on your screen here momentarily will be courtesy of Bourbon Autonomous Yard Equipment. This is facing west at Bourbon. We actually have some good trees here to keep a close eye at what those winds are actually doing, but also taking into consideration, Bourbon's further to the east of the heaviest of the squall, so conditions here may not be as intense as where it is in the snow squall warning. Winds are picking up just ever so slightly there. Will Columbia City, Indiana get heavy snow? A burst of it, possibly. Otherwise, you guys are going to be in, I believe, our 1 to 3 zone for the later event today. You might end up with a good 2 to 4 there if you're lucky, but I think it should stay pretty minor in nature. Between 1 and 4 inches or so is your range between this morning and later on tonight. Columbus is further south. You guys will be impacted with some snow showers later today. Right now, no immediate concern. And snow showers should be pretty light down there, so accumulation should be pretty minor in nature. I do want to say the snow rates here in Rensselaer have picked up just a little bit more. Still only about a dusting or so on the ground there, so not accumulating too quickly. But it is likely on the roads here, so you got about an hour or so more snow to go through Rensselaer, so it could end up with about an inch or so. We will take a look here at the Vermilion County Tower Cam, courtesy of Vermilion County EMA. This is facing, well, any direction actually, but we're going to tilt it to the north here. That's your snow squall coming in toward Vermilion County. You guys got about another hour or so, perhaps a little bit more if it holds together for you guys. But this is facing north. We're going to leave it facing north as it moves in later on today, so we'll keep a close eye on that one. We also have another camera down here in Elnora, which is facing south. This is courtesy of Sharp Trailers. This one will be live here, I believe, on the... Actually, it will not be live on YouTube, but we do have access to it. We'll take a peek at it throughout the next couple of hours as this moves through. Looks like some nice asperatus clouds there, it appears. And of course, we do have the Bluffton camera as well as the Bourbon camera to keep a close eye on. Not too intense right there at the current moment. So we'll take back on the radar here. No problem, Lisa. Whiteout in Knox. Thank you for that report. Not a surprise by any means. Again, snow squall warnings in effect here for a large chunk of northern and central Indiana areas. The counties included in this snow squall warning. If I can get this thing to load, there it goes. Perfect. We have Stark, Marshall, Kosciuszko, Wabash, Miami, Fulton, Pulaski, Cass, White, Benton, Newton, and Jasper counties. Snow squall warning in effect. That means heavy snow, rapidly deteriorating road conditions, wind gusts upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour, and also a flash freeze that is ongoing, which will freeze roadways up quickly. I am just getting over being sick, so I do apologize for going to coughing fits. My throat is becoming irritated by talking so much. Looks like the northern part of this line up here by Napanee and Warsaw areas is picking up in intensity here. It's also right by the radar, so this is likely a very intense burst of snow ongoing in the Leesburg area. This is heading toward Columbia City, South Whitley, Pierceton areas, Tri-Lakes, and Churubusco. Huntington also on deck for this a little bit later on here. Won't be too long. You guys also on deck. This snow squall is pushing south. There's your animation on radar. Lafayette area is fine for right now, but about another hour, perhaps maybe 30 to 45 minutes, you guys will be getting some snow there, some wind. Gregory, we're looking at probably about an inch or two of snow accumulation with this first round. And then anything that happens after that will be probably another inch or three throughout the next 24 hours with lake effect snow lingering through the day today as well as into Thursday. You're far enough east that major accumulation is not really expected for you guys. Again, I'll throw on the screen here real quick for you guys. Our forecast for northern Indiana, at least, is right here. This is combined between the snow squall right now, lake effect snow through the day today into tomorrow morning. We have Columbia City right there on the edge of 1 to 2 as well as 2 to 5. I'm in Bloomington, Illinois. We are getting hit right now, and there's 10 minutes left of a warning. There's nothing. I'm confused. Micah, what do you mean you're getting hit right now, but there's nothing? So Bloomington right now looks like there is no warning in effect for you guys at all. Looks like there's some snow on the south side of the city, but it's wrapping up, so you should be good. If there was a warning, it is expired, or at least it's not showing on my screen right now. That is actually a very intense snowband currently over Leesburg. I'm looking at the other radar as well. That's pretty impressive, to say the least. Okay, yeah, so Micah, the snow squall warning, it's a new-ish warning that's been introduced by the Weather Service. It's been around for about 4 or 5 years, I want to say. And basically all it really communicates is for hazardous travel, because the snow squalls, you can go from clear sunny skies to literally whiteout conditions in a matter of 2 seconds. And these are conditions that are notorious for pileups, major accidents, and just overall terrible conditions on the roads. So really, if you're at home, there's really no reason to adhere to the snow squall warning. But if you're on the roads or plan to be on the roads, that's when you have to take caution and just be alert, keep your head on the swivel as you go through these snow squalls, because there's a lot that can happen very rapidly. With this particular case, snow squall is ongoing, heavy snow in some areas, but also the wind is creating some very near blizzard conditions within the snow squall. But also with this, temperatures are falling rapidly, so wet roadways are going to freeze very quickly. So it's just not a good situation at all. So yeah, you're right. They are kind of new on the warning side of things. About 4 or 5 years old, I want to say. But they're issued mainly for these really heavy snow events that are really typically brief in nature. Yep, you are correct. There is actually lightning and thunder out there with snow as well today. That is also not impossible. It's happened before. Think back to last year. We had some freezing rain, some grapple, as well as some lightning. We're getting thunderstorm today, guys. That's crazy. Excuse me. That happens when there is a little bit, just a smidge, of instability in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. Also aiding in that heavier snowfall rate, but also giving us just enough hint of unstable conditions to create a lightning strike or two. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Also, with snow squalls and lake effect snow in general, it's a very, very sharp cutoff. What I mean by that is you could go 3 miles up the road, they could have 8 inches of snow, but then 3 miles down the road, there could be nothing. That is the beauty and also the challenge of forecasting lake effect and snow squalls. That's one of the things you can't get out of in winter. If the wind shifts just a smidge, you are in trouble with your forecast. What is the strongest wind gust that has been inside a snow squall so far today, Greg? I've seen 48 miles per hour, the highest I've seen. I also see several reports for our friends in Illinois. I see actually a 55 mile per hour gust near Flanagan, Illinois, in Livingston County. I see a 50 mile per hour report in Grundy County near Mason. A lot of mid to upper 40s and low 50 reports for your wind within these snow squalls. So we're pretty gusty, for sure. Out of curiosity, I'm going to check out on the outage map here just to see if there's any power outages across Indiana. There actually are. There is, in Porter County alone, there is 1,318 customers out. Across the entire state, about 3,000 customers out of power. So not a whole lot, but still enough to kind of warrant mention that, hey, we do have some outages happening in some areas. Again, I am getting over a sickness here. I've had bronchitis for the past couple of days, so bear with me. My voice is starting to crack a little bit. Got a stuffed nose, but I'll make it through here. Just bear with me. Do you think that 80 mile per hour gusts are possible in snow squalls? No, not today. There are certain instances where those winds could combine with snow. I know last year in Michigan, I was live with the Michigan side of the team. We were tracking a snow squall pushing across Lake Michigan. I believe we had a couple 70 or upper 60 mile per hour gusts on the lakeshore with those snow squalls. There are 80 mile per hour wind gusts out west in the Colorado, the Rockies area. When they get big blizzards and stuff like that, we can have winds that top 80 mile per hour out there. But snow squalls in the Great Lakes region very rarely get up to 60, 65 plus in some spots. But usually it's more so 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with these events. The winds are going to last all day, Jesselyn. They're going to push across the state with time, and they're going to continue pretty much all day. In fact, I'll go ahead and run you guys through here. Throw the wind on the screen. There we go. Here's your wind gust. Right now it's 10:40 a.m., so 11 o'clock for all intents and purposes. The blues here are about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts here. The greens are 35 to 45. And if anything orange or yellow pops up, that's 50 miles per hour or higher. So here we go through the day today. You see those wind gusts picking up there. 5 p.m. this afternoon. Entire state continues all day today. But also take note up here further north, we could have gusts up to 50 mile per hour winds close to the lakeshore there. That's going to combine with lake effect snow. And that's going to give us a lot of blowing snow and near blizzard conditions. Went from no snow to all of a sudden 3 inches of snow on the ground in Griffith, Indiana. It was amazing watching it come in. Yeah, that's what happens in these intense snow squalls. I will also say, later on tonight into the overnight hours, up in the like LaPorte, Michigan City, Indiana-Michigan border area up there, I would not be shocked to see snowfall rates top 2 inches per hour. And also with those heavier snow bands, don't be shocked if you hear lightning tonight. Or not hear lightning, but if you see lightning and hear thunder, also possible tonight. Greg, you're probably looking at like a rate of a quarter inch per hour. So for you guys further south there and east, outside the lake effect zone, it's going to depend on how these lake effect bands kind of deviate and drift throughout the evening. So you're going to have some probably moderate snow at times, but then it's going to stop. And it's going to wait another hour or two, and snow will pick back up for a little bit. So it's not going to be consistent. Light rain in Wabash. Let's check on our surface temperatures. Yeah, you guys are a little bit kind of disoriented off the rain freeze line, so not surprised by that. Don't be fooled though, that rain will freeze as this front moves through. take a peek back at our weather cameras here. In particular, the Jasper County camera at Rensselaer. Still snowing up there. We've got about another half hour or so of snow left to go. When all is said and done, looks about an inch or two, or an inch or so will be likely here. Decent snowfall rates. I'm going to have to go back at the 9 a.m. or the 10 a.m. should I say, and watch that snow squall move in. That was pretty intense as that did so. Yep. Any questions, feel free to drop them in chat here. Louisville, some snow showers later on this afternoon, but nothing major for you guys down there. All right, let's go ahead and take back the radar here and talk about ongoing conditions. I'm going to throw on my other radar just because I like it just a bit better here to talk about the intensity of this snow. So we're getting some weakening of this snow squall here. But any purple counties on your screen that are lit up and within that box are under the snow squall warning. So Kosciuszko, Fulton, very far south and East Marshall, Wabash, Miami, Cass, White, Benton, Newton, Jasper, Pulaski counties. Snow squall is moving out of this polygon here shortly. But when you are on the edge of this, down in like Tippecanoe, Carroll, Howard, Miami, Wabash, Huntington counties, all the way down to Benton and Warren County, you guys are expecting this to kind of impact you with a little bit of force. Clear days could turn into low visibilities very quickly. Road conditions are going to deteriorate. Winds are going to pick up. That is what you expect out ahead of this snow squall. Current temperature in Columbia City? That is a great question. Let's pull up the real-time analysis map, shall we? So, funny story. Columbia City right now is 37 degrees. But if you go about 3 miles, about maybe... How many miles is that? So from Columbia City to Warsaw is a 7-degree difference. So Columbia City right now is 37 degrees. Warsaw is at 30 degrees. So there comes your flash freeze, so to speak. You will see a quick change over to snow very quickly for you there, Gregory. So just give it a few minutes. It will hit you here pretty soon. Matthew, yes, I would say yes, especially next 20 days or so. If you guys are going to get any meaningful snow that far south, the pattern is going to support it late this month into the start of February. We are tracking a very active pattern. We have a lot of cold air coming in. If there's going to be anything significant for you guys that far south, it's going to happen in the next 20 days or so. So obviously I can't tell you for sure, but if it's going to happen, the next 20 days look pretty supportive of it, so to speak. So if you want something good down there, don't lose hope just yet. I think the pattern does support it. We just got to get the right system and the right storm track. Oh, hold the phone. I actually have a report gust here. Is that right? 1530. That would translate over to 10:30. Yeah. As of 21 minutes ago, I have a report of a wind gust up here in Porter County of 58 miles per hour near Lake Station. That would be, by technicality, what is considered severe criteria. So if we were in the summertime getting rain or some storms, it would be severe ward, essentially. That kind of goes to show you the significance of what's happening today. These winds are cranking, snow is blowing. Obviously not as intense as the thunderstorm is, but still, for those on the roads, it is still pretty intense. Also likely why we're seeing outages rolling in out of Porter and Lake counties, just because those winds are gusting close to, if not at, severe criteria. So it's kind of crazy. We are in January. We're getting severe level gusts. We will see if they reissue the snow squall warning here further south. Looking on radar, it's hard to depict it for sure, but I would expect them, honestly, if I'm making a decision based on radar, I would probably opt for statements instead, but they are the officials, they're the experts. But it looks like it's weakening just a tad bit, where it's not as organized, as intense here. So we'll see what they do here for Tippecanoe, Warren, Carroll, Howard counties, etc. as this line pushes further to the south. I'm going to restart my software here just because. Switch this over here to this camera. My software was not updating for some reason. There we go. Perfect. Good morning, Christian. Good to see you in here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about the overview here one more time for you guys tuning in. I'm probably going to hop out of here soon, as this snow squall looks to be a little bit on the weakening side of things. So I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I have a lot of work to do here on the back end to get forecasts pushed out to you guys as well. But I will, however, walk you guys through the rest of the day today based on the latest forecast models. Okay, so here is current temperatures really across the state. That's not updated as of late, but let's go ahead and switch this over here to the actual forecast model. All right, wind gusts today. We're going to be looking at gusts between 35 and about 45 miles per hour for a large majority of the state. If you guys are further south, watching us from like Louisville, Evansville, Bloomington areas, your guys' wind is going to pick up as the day goes on. So here in blue, 25 mile per hour gusts or so, but in green is 35 or so mile per hour gusts, upwards of 45. Those green colors are going to push further south as the day goes on. By 3 p.m. today, we have gusts up to 35 to 40 across all the state. They'll continue gusting out of the north, northwest to the south, southeast. Highest gusts will be centered up here in northwest Indiana, where we have 50 or so mile per hour gusts being shown. Otherwise, across the state, 35 to 40, 45 miles per hour gusts throughout the day today are likely, so it'll be windy today. With that, the snow squall continues to push its way to the south and southeast. When all said and done, we could have a few inches of accumulation possible. But timing this out for you guys who are just tuning in, current time is 10:55 a.m. Eastern, so about 11 a.m. Eastern. On your screen currently, the snow squall continues. By about that 1 p.m. time frame, it's at I-70 or nearing I-70 corridor. So places like Indianapolis, Richmond, down here by Terre Haute area, that general region, on deck for it. Here's 2 p.m. It's crossed the 70 corridor down toward Bloomington, over toward Richmond. By 3 p.m., it's weakened quite a bit. Some snow showers linger further to the west, but primarily, most of it will stay to the further east here toward the Corydon area, up toward Louisville and Cincinnati regions on the border there. By 4 p.m., it is pretty much out of the state, and the lake effect further north kicks up here, and that's where we have accumulations up here by Michigan City, LaPorte area, that could easily top 6 to 12 plus inches in spots. Our forecast for snow across the state, focus currently on the northern half, though. We'll talk about this right now. excuse me, 1 to 2 inches of a general accumulation with this snow squall as it moves through. Lake effect, though, ramps up behind it. So 2 to 5 totals for Gary, DeMott, Winnemac, Monticello, Logansport, Peru, Wabash, Columbia City, LaGrange areas. Further north, closer to the Michigan, Lake Michigan, Michigan border areas, 4 to 9 there for Goshen, Warsaw, Rochester, Knox, and Valparaiso on the center there, on the line, so to speak. And then South Bend, LaPorte, Plymouth, Knox areas, 7 to 14 plus is our going rate. Would not be shocked when all is said and done Thursday afternoon to see a report of 2 feet of snow out of that area. Not a shock at all. Winds with snow today across lake effect areas will be significant. Hazard, low visibility, blowing snow, near blizzard conditions, certainly a possibility. Avoid travel if you can across the heavier accumulation zones. Our forecast that goes further south is basically a trace to an inch as far south as the Kentucky border. I'll go ahead and flip it over here to our sister page that did the statewide graphic here. This one right here. We do have a trace to an inch down to Versailles, Bloomington, Terre Haute, Vincent's area. We still could get a few areas with snow showers further south toward Jasper, Corydon, Louisville, Kentucky areas. But overall, this looks to be on track based on what we're seeing here. 1 to 2 might be a bit aggressive based on the latest data I'm seeing out of the I-70 corridor region. So perhaps a trace to an inch for you guys there for Richmond, Indianapolis areas. But still enough to slick roadways up, so be careful regardless. That is your overall snow forecast for today into tomorrow morning. We have 3,000 people out of power in the state of Indiana, or should I say customers, not people, customers out of power. Likely a bit higher, just because one household with 4 people is one customer. So we could have closer to 5,000 to 10,000 people out total. Good morning, Steve. There we go. If they choose to extend the snow squall warning here, I will go over the details of that, but likely still pop out of here. I have a lot of forecasts to write and maintain today, so new statement coming in. Looks like a statement here for, let's see what it says here. Okay, they're basically just going to continue their statement they issued earlier this morning that just says, hey, snow's possible, gusty winds possible, etc., etc. So basically, they're just opting to go for a statement instead. We'll stay on here for a few more minutes, though. Any final questions, feel free to chime them in chat here. I'll do my best to answer those for you guys. Will Carmel get anything? Yes, some snow showers later on this afternoon. Looks like the snow, at least, is letting up just a tad bit in Rensselaer here, courtesy of Jasper County REMC. We can see the trees in the field in front of us for the first time in a while. This camera came in handy this morning about an hour ago. We watched that wall of white snow push in. Kind of cool to see, but also dangerous for those on the roads. I will go back and play it back and get a recording of that and post on the page because it was really cool. I suppose you want to go back and see it as well. Excuse me. Yes, Evelyn, blizzard-like or near blizzard conditions, whatever the term you guys want to use is, are possible today, especially up in lake effect zones, because winds are going to gust 40 to 50 miles per hour. Snow rates could exceed 1 inch per hour at times. Combination of that will not be good. That's also why we have winter weather advisories and storm warnings in effect up there for areas in northern Indiana. Current time, 11:02 a.m. I am Ryan here. We are live with the Indiana Weather Network. The reason we are live is snow squall warnings are in effect for multiple counties here in Indiana. Good news is they are starting to expire here, so that means I will likely be hopping out of here momentarily. In the meantime, though, we have a couple areas still on deck. I'll go over those one more time for you guys before I hop out of here. On your radar screen currently is the live radar. Lafayette on deck here. Logansport getting impacted right now. North Manchester, Peru areas. Columbia City, excuse me, about to be impacted as well. Angola as well. Out ahead of this is moving to the south and a little bit east, about 30 to 40 miles per hour. There's movement on that for you guys to get a good idea of where it's heading. It is weakening as it pushes to the south, but as it moves through, expect there to be a quick burst of snow, wind, and then temperatures are going to freeze any wet roadways that are left over. So expect there to be icy conditions, slick roads, a brief burst of wind that could top 40 miles per hour in spots. Otherwise, some moderate snow as well. Accumulation should be pretty minor in nature, an inch or two at most with this snow squall. Lake effect snow will continue up into later on this afternoon and tonight for northern Indiana. The wind has really picked up here in Rensselaer, and we are getting blowing snow across the fields now. That is not actual snow falling. That is actual snow blowing out of the fields. That is what we call near or ground blizzard conditions. That is crazy. Been live for about 2 hours now, and yes, thank you guys in chat there. I am still getting over a sickness here, so I do my best, but my throat is getting really irritated with all this talking, so I think it's probably best here as the snow squall continues to weaken, but also as it pushes south as well, we'll probably pop out of here and get my voice a rest and get some forecasts pushed out to you guys. I'm kind of waiting to see what they do with this next snow squall because it's moving out of the current warning. So I'm curious if they're going to opt for another warning or if they're going to opt for a statement instead. They opt for a statement that gives us kind of more incentive to hop out of here and just end our coverage. But if they do issue a new snow squall warning, I do want to cover that just a little bit. So appreciate you guys sticking with me. I might be live a little bit later on today as well to talk about lake effect snow for you guys who are up in northwest Indiana. Just because this event is going to be pretty big. We also might go live with chasers in the field later on this afternoon and evening. We have, I know, several chasers going out to the Michigan side of things, also Indiana side of things. So we might just combine coverage today. We might be broadcasting from the Michigan side to Indiana or vice versa. We'll play by ear. But we may have some coverage out there for you guys as well. So, excuse me. The Wells Street Beach Cam did melt off some of that snow a little bit, but also keep a close eye there. Those winds are gusting off the lake there. The trees swaying back and forth. Those waves on Michigan are quite big. No snow yet here. Well, looks like some snow showers are flying there, but overall not too heavy at this current moment. We'll keep a close eye on that camera throughout the day today. It looks like they're opting for statements instead, which is really good news. quite the intense scene going on there in Rensselaer based off the camera here. Blowing snow, definitely a hazard there today. This snow squall warning is supposed to expire in about 5 minutes or so. That's what I'm waiting on at this current moment. Current time, I am going back into the archives of this camera back to about 9 a.m. or so, an hour ago. And we are going to clip a little bit of scene here as that snow squall moved in, because that was quite intense. I want to visualize that for you guys who have not been able to see that yet, because it was really cool. But also kind of scary if you're on the roads. So, all right, there we go. So that gives us a confirmation of what they're going to do with this. They're opting for a special weather statement out ahead of this, forgoing the snow squall warning. That is our tune to get off. All right. With that being said, I'm going to roll the outro. You guys stay safe out there if you're on the roads. Also, stay tuned into the pages for future forecasts, as well as our snow forecasts are up on the pages already. So with that said, you guys enjoy your day. I will be out of here. If you guys want to view this camera, it is live on Indiana Weather Network on YouTube. It is live 24/7 for you guys. So if you want to continue watching this, you are welcome to do that over on our YouTube page. With that said, I'm Ryan signing off. Enjoy your day, guys. Stay safe.